In the vast and arid landscape of the northern Cape of South Africa, where the mighty Orange River carves its way through the earth, there's a town called Orania. It's a small settlement, seemingly like any other rural town from above, but it holds a unique and controversial identity. It causes a lot of arguments, igniting passionate debates and raising complex questions about identity, culture, and the future of South Africa. Orania is more than just a place to live. It's a deliberate and carefully constructed community. It's an experiment in keeping a culture alive, a living laboratory for preserving the Afrikaner identity in a rapidly changing world. It was built only for Afrikaners, a conscious decision to create a space where their language and traditions could flourish. The goal is to protect their language, Afrikaans, a language with its own unique history and cultural significance, and to safeguard their traditions and who they are, their unique cultural identity and heritage. In South Africa, after the old system of apartheid ended, a system that dramatically reshaped the social and political landscape of the nation, people who live there see it as a safe place, a haven where they can raise their families and live according to their values, where they can decide their own future, free from external pressures and influences, charting their own course as a community. They follow the idea of self-werksaamheid, a core principle that guides their way of life, which means self-reliance, a commitment to providing for themselves and minimizing their dependence on outside assistance. Every job, from farming, cultivating the land and growing their own food, to teaching, educating the next generation and passing on their cultural heritage, is done by Afrikaners, reinforcing their sense of community and shared purpose. This makes them work hard, fostering a strong work ethic and a dedication to building a thriving community, and be able to take care of themselves, ensuring their long-term sustainability and independence. Orania is run like a private company with a unique governance structure that reflects their commitment to self-determination. People buy shares to live there, investing in the community and becoming stakeholders in its future. To some, Orania seems old-fashioned, a relic of the past that clashes with modern values and ideals, and goes against the idea of a united rainbow nation, a vision of South Africa where all cultures and ethnicities coexist harmoniously. Others say it's a small group's right to decide for themselves, exercising their freedom of association and pursuing their own vision of community, and that the law protects this, safeguarding their right to self-determination within the framework of the South African Constitution. Orania is strange because it's looking to the future, embracing innovation and technology in some aspects of its development, with its own digital money, a local currency designed to promote economic independence and facilitate transactions within the community. But it's also very much stuck in the past, clinging to traditional values and a way of life that seems increasingly out of step with the modern world. It wants to be separate, maintaining its distinct identity and cultural boundaries, but is still connected to South Africa by law and money, a complex relationship that highlights the tensions between autonomy and integration. The town being there brings up big questions, forcing us to confront difficult issues about identity, belonging, and the meaning of community in a diverse society. About culture, the importance of preserving cultural heritage, and the challenges of navigating cultural differences, what it means to be a nation, the complexities of national identity, and the ongoing process of nation-building in a post-apartheid South Africa, and what will happen to South Africa, the future of the country, and the role that communities like Orania will play in shaping its destiny. Orania is a small place, a tiny dot on the map of South Africa, but it's very important, a microcosm of the larger challenges and opportunities facing South Africa as it continues to grapple with its past and build a more inclusive future. Orania's story started during a pivotal moment in South African history, as the old system of apartheid was ending. This transition period was marked by uncertainty and apprehension for many, as the nation grappled with the dismantling of long-standing racial segregation policies. Amidst this backdrop of change, Afrikaners were particularly worried about their future, their cultural identity, and their place in a rapidly transforming society. They feared the loss of their heritage and the potential marginalization within the new political landscape. In response to these anxieties, Karl Boshoff Sr., a prominent figure deeply connected to the architects of apartheid through his marriage to the daughter of Hendrik Verwoerd, imagined a Volksstaat, a separate, self-governing state exclusively for Afrikaners, where they could preserve their language, culture, and traditions. This vision represented a desire for self-determination and cultural autonomy in a changing South Africa. Driven by this vision, in 1990, Boshoff and 40 like-minded families, sharing his concerns and aspirations, pooled their resources and bought the empty, almost derelict town of Orania situated in the Northern Cape province. The town's history was rooted in its past as a construction camp established to house the workers who built the nearby dams along the Orange River. Its remote location, far from major urban centers, coupled with its access to a reliable water source from the Orange River, made it an ideal place to establish a self-sufficient community capable of managing its own affairs and resources, independent of external reliance. The first wave of residents, filled with hope and determination, officially moved into Orania in 1991, marking the beginning of a unique social experiment. With limited resources, they embarked on an ambitious project to rebuild and revitalize the town, relying on their own skills and labor. A core principle of Orania's development was self-reliance, meaning that no outside workers were allowed to be employed for construction or other tasks within the community. This hands-on approach to building and maintaining their community was not only a practical necessity given their limited resources, but also a fundamental part of their deeply held beliefs about self-sufficiency and cultural preservation. It firmly set the stage for the principle of self-work, where residents were expected to contribute directly to the community's development through their own labor. The first few years were undeniably hard, filled with challenges and requiring immense dedication from the pioneering residents. They faced the daunting task of having to fix dilapidated buildings, many of which had been neglected for years, start businesses from scratch to provide essential goods and services, and essentially build a new society from nothing, forging their own institutions and social structures. Over time, Orania attracted Afrikaners who felt increasingly left out and marginalized by the policies and direction of the new government. They were drawn to Orania by promises of a safe haven, where they could freely practice their culture, speak their language, and uphold their traditional values without fear of assimilation or cultural erosion. To govern themselves, the town set up its own independent council, responsible for local administration and decision-making. They established their own schools, providing education rooted in Afrikaner culture and language, and even created their own local bank, fostering financial independence and supporting local businesses. Ultimately, their goal was to create a separate society within South Africa, a self-governing enclave where Afrikaner identity and culture could thrive. From its humble beginnings as a forgotten and dilapidated construction camp, Orania gradually transformed into a functioning and increasingly thriving community, a place where Afrikaner nationalism remained a potent force, shaping its identity and social fabric. Its founders and early residents fervently hoped to demonstrate that a small, determined group of people, united by a shared vision and committed to hard work, could achieve remarkable success through self-reliance and independence. The town experienced gradual but steady growth over the years, driven by a unified purpose and a shared vision of creating a self-sustaining Afrikaner community. Orania's early history serves as a testament to the unwavering determination and perseverance of its residents, as they strived to achieve a controversial dream that continues to spark debate and disagreement among many people both within and outside of South Africa. What drives Orania is the search for self-rule. It's not about being better than other races, but about keeping their culture alive. People who live there see themselves as a special group, with their own language, history, and Christian faith. They are afraid that the idea of a rainbow nation will make them lose their identity, so they want to control their own organizations. Section 235 of South Africa's Constitution says that cultural groups have the right to decide for themselves. Orania's leaders hope to build a successful town to show they can govern themselves. They want more independence. For many, Orania is a practical answer to crime, corruption, and rules they feel hurt them. It's a place to build a future on their own terms. Life in Orania is deeply intertwined with its unique approach to work, community, and culture. It's a place where these three elements are not just separate aspects of life, but rather they are woven together to create a distinct and intentional environment. The emphasis is on self-reliance, with residents actively working for themselves, fostering a spirit of entrepreneurship and local economic growth. There's a palpable sense of security and peace, with residents feeling safe and protected within their community, and a strong emphasis on preserving and celebrating their unique Afrikaner culture, fostering a sense of identity and belonging. Every job, from the most essential to the most specialized, is intentionally filled by the people who live there, reinforcing the community's self-sufficiency. This deliberate approach aims to minimize class differences, promoting a more egalitarian society where everyone contributes and benefits. As a result, a culture of mutual respect flourishes, where everyone values each other's contributions and perspectives. The community is exceptionally close-knit, with strong bonds forming between neighbors and families. Social life often revolves around the church, which serves as a central gathering place for spiritual and community activities. The schools play a vital role, and cultural events such as the Day of the Vow provide opportunities for residents to celebrate their shared heritage and values. Education is conducted primarily in Afrikaans, with a curriculum that places a strong emphasis on Afrikaner history, traditions, and Christian values, shaping the worldview of the younger generation. The promise of safety and security is a significant draw for many who choose to make Orania their home. Crime rates are remarkably low, almost non-existent, contributing to a sense of tranquility and well-being. Children enjoy the freedom to play outdoors without constant supervision, a rare and cherished aspect of life in Orania. Prospective residents undergo a thorough vetting process, ensuring that newcomers align with the community's core values and principles. This careful selection process fosters a high level of trust and cooperation among residents. The community is exclusively for Afrikaners, a defining characteristic of Orania. This exclusivity is rooted in a desire to preserve and promote their unique culture rather than solely on racial grounds. However, it's undeniable that the population is entirely white, a fact that raises complex questions about identity and inclusion. Active participation in community life is strongly encouraged, with residents expected to contribute their time and skills. This involvement extends to town governance, ensuring that residents have a voice in shaping the future of their community. The town operates with a business-like approach, emphasizing efficiency and accountability. The residents are not just inhabitants but stakeholders, with a vested interest in the town's success and well-being. This carefully structured way of doing things fosters a strong sense of belonging and shared purpose among its residents. However, this insular environment can also create the perception of a closed-off and exclusive community, potentially alienating those outside its borders. Orania stands as a meticulously planned and constructed community, intentionally designed to safeguard and perpetuate a specific way of life, raising questions about the balance between cultural preservation and inclusivity. Being independent with money is a main goal for Orania. The town started its own money called the Ora in 2004. It's tied to the South African rand and used to keep money moving within the town. The Ora, managed by the town's bank, helps local businesses and shows their desire for self-rule. Orania uses digital payments, mixing old ways with new technology. Farming, especially pecans, is a big business, but the town is also growing in tourism, building, and services. Starting new businesses is encouraged, and new ideas get support. Focusing on local money growth is turning Orania into a busy and active place. The town's money system is both a statement of independence and a practical base for its future. Orania's leaders believe that true independence starts with being able to take care of yourself financially. Every Ora spent is an investment in the community staying alive. Orania and the Rainbow Nation are two very different ideas for South Africa. The Rainbow Nation celebrates many cultures and people mixing together, trying to unite everyone after apartheid. Orania, on the other hand, is built on keeping one culture separate and taking care of themselves. While the rest of South Africa welcomes many different people, Orania creates a special place just for one group. The town doesn't like the idea of everyone depending on each other for money. It works outside of rules like black economic empowerment. In Orania, only Afrikaans is spoken, and national symbols are replaced by Afrikaner ones. This makes the group very strong, but also makes them more separate from the rest of the country. For most South Africans, the way to fix unfairness is for everyone to mix. For Orania, it's to be separate. The two worlds exist at the same time but are going in opposite directions. Orania is like a bubble. It purposefully keeps out the complicated things happening in the wider society. It being there challenges the very idea of a united South Africa. Supporters say Orania is about keeping their culture alive, not about racism. They see it as a safe place for the Afrikaans language and heritage, which they feel are threatened elsewhere in South Africa. The town's safety, clean streets, and lack of corruption are given as proof of its success. Supporters point to international and constitutional rights that allow groups to decide for themselves. They argue that other groups have their own leaders and places. So why not Afrikaners? Orania is seen as a practical answer to problems with the government and rules that help some groups more than others. For its residents, it's about protecting themselves, not attacking anyone. Critics see Orania as a modern reminder of apartheid. They say it excludes people and is racist. They argue that saying it's about keeping culture alive is just a way to hide separation, and that it hurts national unity. Orania being there is seen as a rejection of trying to heal the country, and a betrayal of democratic ideas. Critics warn that if other places copied Orania, South Africa could break apart into groups based on ethnicity. They say the town's success relies on things like roads and power that all South Africans helped build. Self-work is seen as a way to avoid changes in the economy and helping black citizens get ahead. For many, Orania is morally wrong. It's seen as turning away from the hard work of building a shared future. It's seen as a symptom, not a solution to South Africa's problems. Orania is at a turning point, and what happens to it will affect all of South Africa. The town's population and economy are growing, and some residents dream of being completely independent. Becoming independent would mean new borders, laws, and other countries recognizing them. This is not likely to happen. Orania would face being alone, money problems, and legal difficulties. The South African government is not likely to let them break away, seeing it as a threat to the country's power. If they declared independence on their own, it could cause conflict, making independence risky. The more likely path is that they will continue to have some self-rule within South Africa's laws. Orania might try to get more local control over schools and police. Its story remains a controversial chapter in South Africa's search for who it is. Orania makes the country face tough questions about culture, belonging, and the future.